Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the iBUG Buzz for Monday, November 15th, 2021. This is episode number 509. Wow, we've been at this a while. Well, my name is Stephen Kerr. I'm excited to be one of your facilitators tonight, along with SANDHYA, as we talk about all things iOS on this call that we do every week. The iPhone, the iPad, iPod Touch, Apple TV, the Apple Watch, and other apps and accessories of these devices. Now, let me just go over a few basic guidelines before we get started on the call. I do want to let you know this call is being recorded, and if you came in after we started the recording, you probably figured that out because you get a little notification from Zoom that you have to agree to that before you continue, or to be muted or unmuted and do things on the call. So please make sure to stay muted unless you are speaking, and this is very important. It's to ensure the quality of the call. When you want to ask or answer a question, just unmute yourself, say your name, and then wait to be acknowledged by one of the facilitators. Now, please don't start asking your question until you've been recognized. Just keep in mind that we don't use the raise hand feature on Zoom. You just say your name, and then wait for one of us to recognize you and ask your question. It's that simple. Now, we ask that you not speak out or make exclamations while other people are talking. When you want to announce yourself, just wait until there's a break in the conversation, because speaking when someone else is already talking, it's very distracting, and it kind of makes it difficult to hear who is speaking sometimes if two people are talking over each other. Once you've asked or answered a question, let's give others a chance to do the same, and that's just so everyone gets a chance to participate. We don't want to leave anybody out. Make sure to eliminate any background noise. It's very important. If we have to tell you twice that you have too much background noise, then we may have to remove you from the call, and we really don't want to do that. We want everybody to get a shot at participating. So if you have clattering dishes or barking dogs or clocks or any other things in the background, please make sure that you're muted, or just get to a quiet area if you want to unmute. All right, let me quickly run down the ways that you can mute and unmute on the various devices that we use. In the Zoom app on an iPhone, the mute button toggle is at the bottom left corner of the screen. You double tap and it will toggle on or off. On an iPad, you'll find it at the top center of the screen. On a Windows PC, you can toggle by using Alt-A. On a Mac, you can toggle by using Command-Shift-A. Also on the Mac and PC, you can use the space bar as a kind of a push-to-talk feature. You push it in, talk, and then when you let it up, it stops. And if you're calling in on a regular phone line, you can toggle by using *6. All right, with all that out of the way, let's give everyone a chance to introduce themselves. Just tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and remember, you will need to unmute yourself. And if you came in while I was doing the announcements, I'll go ahead and start it off. I'm Stephen from Austin, Texas. Who'd like to go next?
Marion from Tennessee.
All right, Marion. And who else was had somebody else in the background with Marion? Who was that?
Jody from New Hampshire.
Hi, Jody. Welcome.
This is Herbie in Houston.
Hey there, Herbie. Welcome.
Jerry, San Antonio.
Okay, Jerry. I think I heard Jerry, Jim, and Susan. All three of you. Welcome.
Jerry, San Antonio.
All right, Jerry. Gotcha. Welcome.
This is Brad. I'm in Dallas.
Hey, Brad. Welcome.
Claudia in Houston.
Claudia, welcome. And who else?
This is Helene from Woodstock, New York.
Colleen?
Helene.
Helene. Okay. All right. Who's next?
This is Suba from Houston.
Hey, Suba.
And this is Jim from PA.
Hey, Jim. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Steven. Hey, Sri.
And Sri. Welcome.
This is David from New York.
Hey, David. Welcome.
Chanel
Marty from
All right, Chanel and Marty, welcome to you both.
From Philadelphia, yeah.
All right, anyone else?
This is Dee from Southern Illinois.
Hi there, Dee. Welcome to you.
This is Sandhya from Houston.
Hey, Sandhya.
Marvin from Chicago.
Mr. Dana's here from Ohio.
All right. Marvin and Mr. Dana, welcome to both of you.
Adam from Chicago.
Who else from Chicago? I'm sorry.
Adam.
Adam, welcome, Adam.
Xavier, Atlanta.
Xavier, welcome.
Sharon from New York.
Hi, Sharon, welcome to you.
This is David from Houston.
Hey, David, welcome, sir. Anybody else?
Freddie from Galveston County.
Hey, there's Freddie. Welcome, Freddie. All right. One more pass. Anybody else that hasn't had a chance to say hello and introduce themselves? All right. Well, if you didn't get a chance or anyone else that comes in, we, of course, will have the halftime show. You can do it at that point. Now, if you are new to the call, if you want to tell us how you found out about iBUG and what iOS devices you're using, I've been kind of off and on for the call for the last several weeks, so there may be a couple of names I don't recognize. Sandhya, if you want to help me out, was there anybody there that hasn't been on the call before?
No, I think pretty much everybody has been here. Anybody that's never been here before?
We'll give you a shot.
I don't think so. They
Okay.
all sound familiar. New peeps.
All right. Very good. New
Okay.
peeps. Well, new peeps, old peeps, we welcome all of you. So without further ado, of course, I know we save announcements until the halftime show. So we're going to go ahead and open it up for your questions. There are no dumb questions. Well, except maybe the ones not asked, but that's not really dumb. It's just you being shy. So we don't want you to do that. Who'd like to go first?
Susan.
Susan, go ahead.
Yes. This might be a silly question, but for a very long time, I've been wondering when I unlocked my phone, and probably everybody has the same thing. When I want to unlock my phone, you know how it has the number pad, as I call it, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on.
Right.
And I put in my 4-digit code, only the number 1, you know, at first the speech is say 1, but when I double tap it, it doesn't say anything. Of course, all the others do because it has like ABC, DEF, so on and so on. But it makes me wonder, why doesn't the speech just go ahead and say like 1 in a high pitch, kind of like how the keyboard does when it pops up. You know, if you press 1 is a 1, you know, in a higher pitch voice.
Mhm.
And to me, I like that because it confirms that I tapped it correctly. So that's my question.
Okay. So you're kind of wondering why doesn't the 1 have its own signature sound or what have you, like the other letters do, even though there's no letter? Right.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
know, it would confirm that you tapped it correctly.
Okay.
You
Anybody
know,
have any comments
yeah.
on that?
That's all.
There's an operation they can have for that.
Okay. Identify yourself first, sir.
Oh, I beg your pardon. This is Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
That's without. Sometimes what you have to be able to do, what you might try is just flick up once. What phone do you have first off, Susan?
I
Susan,
have an iPad
There she is.
13.
Say again, Susan.
I have an iPad 13.
iPad
And
13.
okay.
I mean, I'm
all right.
sorry, iPhone 13.
13. Okay. All right. Now, do you use the facial recognition to unlock your
Oh,
phone?
no, I'll never do that. But I've had the same thing on
The
other
same
phones.
passcode. The same passcode. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Try. Then I would say just try flicking up again, or hitting the lock button again and doing the unlock gesture again. Sometimes it does take a minute or two for everything to wake up. That might be the issue.
This is Brad.
Susan?
Okay, go ahead, Susan, and then Brad, go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, I really think that's just the way they made it because it's happened on other iPhones. So I don't think it's an iPhone issue. I think it's just the way they designed it or invented it, whatever. But you know, I double tap. First I'll double tap and then I say like 1, and then no, I forget. No, as soon as I put my finger on the number, then it says it. But when I double tap it, in order for it to put that symbol, I call it a star or whatever you call it, on there above, then if you have enough sight, you can tell that it went through. But it would be comforting to know if it would say 1, when I do double tap it to confirm it. I don't know if I'm explaining it
Okay,
right.
yeah, that's good, Susan.
all.
Let's go to Brad.
All right,
Brad, go
thanks.
ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go on mute.
I think you hit it before, Susan. This is just how the lock screen works, and there's nothing you can do about it. This is how they designed it. There's no way to change it that I'm aware of. And no matter what you do, this is just how it works. It's not going to repeat them after you type them.
This is
Okay.
true.
Sure, you go ahead.
I was going to say, Susan, just swipe left. It'll tell you whether that one went through or not.
Okay,
Swipe all
good.
the way to the left. It'll tell you that one number has been confirmed, and then you'll know that your one went through.
Okay, good point.
All right, Susan. Yeah, thanks, Sheree. I appreciate it, and everybody else. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Susan. Appreciate your question.
This is
All right,
Marty.
let's move along. I think we've covered enough ground on this question. Let's move to the next question. Marty, did you have a new question?
Well, yeah, okay. About the Apple Watch, I have a Series 4, which is making me wonder, is my only other voice the Siri voice, or do I have an option for a male voice? And if I do, how would I get that?
Okay, so the Siri voice on the Apple Watch. I know we've got 1 or 2 Apple Watch.
Not the
people
Siri
on this.
voice, the VoiceOver voice.
Uh-huh.
I know that the other option I have is going from changing the VoiceOver voice to the Siri voice. But do I have the male voice as an option on the Series 4, or is that only on the newer ones?
Okay. Can anybody help Marty on that? An Apple Watch user.
This is Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
I don't have an Apple Watch, but I do have something to suggest. The Alex voice takes up a lot of real estate, 869 MB, if I remember right. And I don't know how much memory you have in your watch. You might want to consider a voice with a smaller footprint if you are changing voices. That's something to consider.
This is Marty.
Go ahead, Marty.
Jim, on the Apple Watch, I don't think Alex is an option, and I have about 10 gig, I think, left on that watch.
Okay. Is
This
there anybody
is
else that can, Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking through the Apple Watch app. I don't see another option for another voice other than the default Samantha voice.
This is Herbie.
Herbie, go ahead.
So the only thing you can do with voices on the watch is Samantha, the Siri voices, or you can change the region of the watch and it'll give you the default voice for that region. I think you'll have to set it up as new. So like if you set your watch up as like you're in the UK, then you can get the UK voice. But that means that your watch is going to act like a watch in the UK. It's not going to, so that's the downside is it's going to be like in a totally different region. So if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But that's
This is Marty.
basically your choices. Yep.
Go ahead, Marty.
Yeah, there are rotor languages, Herbie. And I noticed, I think they're mostly English, like English UK, English Indian, I believe, and Australian. Would those give you different voices, or would they actually change the watch operation to those? Well, they're all English.
This is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
I don't know for sure. I would say try adding a language into the rotor and switching to it and see what it does.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or suggestions for Marty on the voices on the watch? I must admit, I learned something. I didn't know they were so limited as far as what voices you could use. All right. Hearing none, let's move to the next question. Who has a new question?
Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. Go ahead.
Okay, on the calendar, you know how you make, you say you have an appointment, you get an email that your appointment is in a week or whatever, your event is in a week, and that's fine. But then, you don't get the Zoom link until like a day or two before the event. Is there an easy way so you can have the Zoom link put on the calendar? Because I can't seem to figure that out.
Okay. Yeah, I know we've explored this topic in the past, but we can go ahead and review it since you may not have heard it before. So can someone suggest about the Zoom link in the calendar? We've had lots of questions about the calendar app over the last few months about making things easier. So anyone have any suggestions on the Zoom link? Adding it later. So you're trying to add it later, Sharon, like after you get the calendar invite?
Right. You get you get an email, the event is in a week, let's say. And then a day or 2 days before the event, you'll get like, here's the Zoom link for the event. So you're ready. Like I've already told Siri, usually tell her to add it to the calendar. So it's on the calendar, but then I don't know how to get the Zoom link on in an easy way.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. So anybody have a suggestion for her?
This is Brad.
Go ahead,
Nobody
Brad.
else. If nobody else does,
yeah.
If you've already made a calendar entry, and then you get an email that's got the URL in it, you open that email, and the easiest thing to do is do it on your iPhone. When you get to that URL, and your VoiceOver speaks it, do with 3 fingers tap 4 times, and you just copied the URL as VoiceOver speaks it. You don't even have to wait for it to finish speaking it because it's in the buffer. Just do a 3-finger tap 4 times and you just copied it. And go to your calendar, open the calendar event, and hit the edit button in the upper right corner. Now there's a couple of different places you can put it. It really doesn't matter. I like to put it in the location.
Yeah.
And so when you ask for the location of the meeting, I'll tap on that and it'll open up an edit field, and then you can use your rotor, change the edit, and then flick down until it says copy, and then double tap and you'll paste that URL in there. There's a couple other places you could also put it in. There's a place for a URL that's farther on down. There's also a place for a memo. Where you put it doesn't really matter. I like it right up top.
Yeah.
And the location. So you can paste it in there and then save your changes and you're done.
Very good.
And
Does that make sense?
If you've got an event,
go ahead,
it's a reoccurring event, that URL will show up in that calendar event every time.
Ah, good point.
Oh, that's great.
Is that helpful, Sharon?
That's very helpful. And you're saying it doesn't matter if you put it under location, URL, or what was the third option?
A memo.
Memo. It doesn't matter.
This is Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
I haven't find it matters, just so it's in there. I like it in the location because, like I said, it's right up top, and it's a live. It's like a live link spot, so you can just double tap on it, and it'll open Zoom, and you're right in the meeting.
Terrific.
Excellent.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sharon. Good question. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, as we like to say here. Who would like to ask the next question? New topic, new discussion.
This is Marion.
Go ahead, Marion.
I have some AirPods Pro. I think I got them about a year ago, and I use them several hours a day. And they've just started occasionally having this really bad crackling sound when they're repeating back something I've dictated, an email or text or something. And it just kind of slowly works its way back to the normal speech, but it's really annoying. And I don't know if anybody else has had that problem, if it's a problem with my AirPods. I mean, it must be with the AirPods because, yeah, it could only be that. But has anybody else ever had that problem?
Now, is this only doing that in the dictation when you dictate something, or is it doing it when you're listening to other things?
Really, when it's reading back that I can remember reading back something that I have dictated, and then it's repeating, what I've dictated.
Interesting. Okay.
This is Marty.
Marty, go ahead.
Do you have transparency mode on and on its highest level?
I have no idea. I'll check that later.
Well, you would know because if your transparency mode is on, you hear external sounds. And if you have that, because I do, if you have it set at the highest level, sometimes you either get crackling or you actually get feedback on the external microphone. You squeeze one of the buds, like right by the stem, there's like a little spot. And when you squeeze that, you will either go, if it becomes, you hear a tone, and that means
goes
that
to
it's
noise
probably
canceling.
done. Yeah. And then when you hear the two tones, like ding ding, that means you're in transparency.
Right.
But you'd have to go to accessibility and audio visual settings and customization, and that's where you set like your transparency on and what level you want it.
So if you lower the transparency, then that's...
Yeah, that would take away because when you have that at 100%, your external sounds are loud. They're amplified quite a bit.
This is Herbie. Oops,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Herbie.
What iPhone are you using?
My new iPhone 13 Pro.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, because it sounds to me more like a hardware issue, but with for 13 Pro, that should not be the case.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're wearing out, but...
so you only hear the static when dictating. You do not hear it anywhere else?
I don't think so. And it's only occasionally, it's not every time. So...
This is Shri.
Okay. Herbie, were you done or did you?
I am done, yes.
Okay. Shri, go ahead.
So I had some situations like that, and I ended up taking to the Apple Store, and they ran some diagnostics, and they did find a hardware issue. And because mine was still under warranty, they replaced it. So you might want to see if yours is still under warranty, and if so, maybe have them run the diagnostic.
Was that the same 13, Shri?
No, I don't think it's, this might be
the AirPods,
AirPod
I think,
issue.
the AirPods Pro.
Oh, it's the AirPod issue. Okay.
So,
gotcha.
and this is Shri. Keep in mind, they did have a recall issue with the AirPod Pro made at a certain time period. So if it falls in that category, so you might want to get it checked.
Oh, thanks, Shri. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't know they could do a diagnostic on the AirPods. Great idea. Thanks.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you all for your help, Marion. Very good question. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And let's move to the next question. Who has another new topic for discussion or a comment?
This is Adam.
Go ahead, Adam.
I would like to know, is there any antivirus software for SE 2020? And if so, would anyone recommend getting it?
Ooh, antivirus software for SE 2020. That's a good one. Anybody have any idea?
This is Marty.
Go ahead, Marty.
I don't think so, Adam. I think Apple is very secure. Just keep your updates up to date because a lot of those updates are bug and security fixes. And it's pretty much that kind of stuff is pretty much the same whether it's an SE20 or an iPhone 13, I think.
Okay, any other comments on that?
This is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
So I'm kind of the opposite of what Marty said. I would suggest it. I use a Norton. Norton offers, and not only Norton, but there's plenty of other companies that offers malware, antivirus, VPN, all kinds of stuff. One of the things that Norton does for me is it always warns me if I go somewhere where I, shouldn't have gone, or if I get an email that says, hey, this is a potential spam email or an email you shouldn't open up. I get those kind of warnings with my antivirus on my phone.
This is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
So my question for you, Shri, so has Norton actually ever found anything on your phone?
Basically, this is Shri.
Yep.
Go ahead, Shri.
So basically for mine, it's more that it warns me before I even open it. So I've never had it where I've had it where it blocked it, so that basically said, hey, this is something that you shouldn't open. So it does that with emails, especially.
Well, the reason why I ask is because Apple does have a lot of smart screen filtering and stuff too. So I guess I'm just curious then, how does Norton compare to just regular Apple or just regular common sense usage? Common sense being defined as, don't open sites and suspicious emails that you don't know the sender from Messenger, things like that. I mean,
this is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
I would say if we all had common sense, then we wouldn't have these issues. Conversation asked. So
good point. Suba, go ahead.
So I would like to ask if it's if they were just wanting to block some of the advertisement, maybe. If that's the case, then instead of an antivirus, I was going to recommend a application called AdBlock. AdGuard. It's called AdGuard, and you would have to. That will generally warn you and do the same things as Norton or any other antivirus would do. And on top of it, it will try to block out lots of ads. If you're on a page or something.
Yeah, actually, you ask a good question, Suba. Adam, let me ask you, was there a specific reason that you were looking for the antivirus software, or just in general?
Just in, this is Adam.
Go ahead.
Just in general, just from use of a PC and always having antivirus and malware software running.
Okay, just having extra safeguard. Okay, Shri, let me ask you real quick: is it like a paid subscription, like the computer software, or?
This is Shri.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it is a paid service. Basically, what I do is I pay for a 10-user license. So it covers mobile and my computers. So it's an a la carte. So it comes with malware blocker, the VPN, as well as antivirus.
Okay. Any other comments or suggestions before we move on? All right, very good. That's an interesting. I mean, I've thought about it from time to time, but it's not something I think much about with the Apple protection. Herbie, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I did want to mention is that all iPhones are going to be pretty equal in terms of, I just wanted to clarify what the point earlier. It doesn't matter whether it's an SE 2020 or a 13. What's going to matter is the operating system, not the iPhone. And just one thing you can always do, keep your iPhone up to date. If you are not too interested in going to 15, then at least keep up with the iOS 14 updates that Apple is rolling out, and that'll keep your phone secure. So just keep those in mind. Those things in mind too. That'll help.
All right. Thanks, Herbie, and thanks everybody. Next question. Who has a new question, new topic for discussion?
This is Dan.
Hey, Dan, go right ahead, sir.
Wow, you can hear me. That's fabulous.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Now I just got a new set of headphones with a mic and stuff. First time I've used them. But anyway, I wanted to share a story and then ask a question.
Okay.
The story relates to I think Shri someone talked about their AirPods and if they were under warranty and having checked and stuff. So I had one of my Apple TVs went south, and I made an appointment to go to the Apple store, and it was actually way out of warranty. And the person I talked to at the Apple store said, but Apple has a special program where they will forget about the warranty and they'll give you a new product. And in fact, that's what they did. They gave me a brand new Apple TV. So I didn't ask for it. And I don't know if you do ask for it, whether they'll give it to you, but it's maybe not a bad thing to know.
Okay.
But my question is, I have a couple of iPads that I rarely use. And one of the reasons is because every time now that I, power up the iPad, and it's an original Pro, iPad Pro. All the original, the apps that are loaded on the iPad when you get it, they're fine. But every other app says loading from the cloud. And this is rather annoying. And I was wondering, I think it has something to do with backing it up or something, but if anybody knows, I would really appreciate it.
Okay. Any suggestions for Dan?
This is Marion.
Go ahead, Marion.
I might be off base, but I had this happen to me with my iPhone, and it's a setting to save on memory where apps that you haven't used for a while will, the icon will stay on your screen, but then you have to re-download it when you want to use it again. So if you go into settings and memory, you can change that. And I can't think off the top of my head what the setting is called, but you can figure it out. And it drops those, apps off if they're not being used, and then you have to re-download them. And yeah, so I had that problem too. It was really annoying.
Thanks. I'll give that a try. Yeah.
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
I've also had that happen with an app that the app has not been updated to the latest version of iOS, so it no longer works.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything to add to that, Dan?
Well, the one where it's really annoying, and it's the one that I use a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people, it's one of our favorite apps, is Voice Stream Reader. Yeah. And I've got a whole gang of books on it. And so every time I open it up, I probably got 500 or 600 books. It's re-downloading the books. And so it's unusable, really, at the end of the day. But I'll try the settings stuff. That's an idea. The only thing I noticed, which I don't know, might be a clue, is when I go into settings, as I flip through, there is something that says this iPad is not backed up. And that's why I thought maybe it had something to do with the backup settings or whatever. But
okay, go ahead, Brad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. The notification you're getting says this iPad has not been backed up. That's your iCloud backup. Chances are, because I get that sometimes. I have an iPad I don't use much specifically, and it's letting me know that because I've had it turned off, it hasn't been doing regular iCloud backups. The way the iCloud backup works is it'll do it every 24 hours, or if it has not happened in 24 hours, it automatically does it when it's connected to Wi-Fi and connected to power, and it will automatically back up. For example, my iPhone does it at some point in the middle of the night, every night. If it gets to the point where it's been 24 hours since it's last happened, it'll automatically do it. Chances are that's what's going on with your iPad. You can force it to do the update manually by, open it up. You see your name at the top of settings. That is your iCloud. You tap on your name. You can go to iCloud, and then down in there, you'll see iCloud backup. And you select that, and then you swipe on down, and you'll see, it'll tell you the last time it's been backed up, and it'll say backup now, and you can tap on that. It'll do the backup right then and there.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
This is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
One of the things I wanted to ask you was, are you subscribed to the iCloud backup?
Well, yeah. This is Dan. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
Which is another really good thing to do, to what Brad said, because I buy 2 terabytes a month and I think I'm at like 0.005% used. So at least, that'll give me a reason to use, or, a reason to use the backup more than I have been using. I thought I was going to use it a lot, but I'm not using it all that much.
Okay, good.
That's fabulous. Thanks, guys.
All right, you bet. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the question. All
No
right,
problem.
next question. Who has a new one that you'd like to ask?
This is Jody.
Hi, Jody. Go ahead.
Has anybody noticed that the A Lady app no longer works with VoiceOver as well? I guess they've done an update. I hate updates, and it's not working.
When you say it's not working, in other words, it's like completely inaccessible, or just certain important parts that aren't working?
Oh, just important parts. First, when you first bring it up, it wants to know if you want to add a new feature, which is called favorites, and you can't get rid of that page. So what I ended up doing was turning VoiceOver off and moving my finger around, and I must have hit a cancel button or something like that, or done button, so that I got past that page. But then when I went to devices and I tried to access my groups, it just wouldn't do it. It's like it doesn't respond to the gestures.
Okay. Now, is this, are you updated the latest iOS, Mary?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any suggestions about what's going on with the A Lady app? I've personally found it a bit clunky for, the last couple of years I've had the A Lady. It's never been very smooth to begin with. So I don't know if it's just gotten worse. I haven't used it in a little while. So anybody else having trouble with the app?
This is Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
I haven't really noticed what Jody's talking about, but I really don't use it all that often. But what I have noticed is it used to be if I had someone call me on my A Lady, device sitting on the table here, get a call, got a couple people, that's their preferred way to call you. And it used to be that the app on my iPhone would, when I got the call, the A Lady device would, ring, make its little sound that it makes when you've got an incoming call. But my iPhone would also make a similar sound, and the call would go. I could answer it on either my iPhone or on the A Lady device, which is really nice, because if I'm someplace else in the house, I would able to pick up the call instead of having to go to my office where my A Lady device is. So I don't know, something's happened there. I didn't know if that's a iOS 15 issue with the A Lady app, or if that's something that happened in an update to the A Lady app. I wonder if anybody else is experiencing that.
Okay.
This is Dan.
Go ahead, Dan.
I can verify the things that Jody is talking about. I can offer no solutions. I would add that the same thing was happening with my Amazon Music app, same company, Amazon Alexa, Amazon Music. I was having a lot of problems with that. I couldn't find my playlists, and it kind of worked itself out. With the Alexa app, I've been trying to, I think I got a couple of smart light bulbs I've been trying to install, and it's just almost unusable now. So I'm gonna have to wait for someone sighted or to come over to help me with it, or hopefully it'll work that out too. I don't know, and I'm not on 15, but yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff I find happens with the Alexa stuff, not just the apps. I've got a lot of paired speakers. All of a sudden they'll stop working. All of a sudden they don't respond the way they used to. I don't know whether it's AWS. I don't know what it is, but I think they've got some issues.
Yeah, and as I said, the app has been clunky since I started using it, so it sounds like it's just getting worse, which is kind of defeating the whole purpose. Any other comments or
This is Marty.
suggestions? Go ahead, Marty.
I don't know how recent you've been using it, Jody, but I haven't used my earbuds in the last couple of weeks, but when I've used them, because when I do use them, I go into the app and maybe make changes to the settings. Things have been moved around in the app, but I find that it's okay. There was a brief period when some of the settings, VoiceOver wouldn't speak them, but then that, I guess, corrected itself when the app updated. So at least for those devices, the earbuds devices, it's worked. It is a little clunky, like you said.
Okay.
It's Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, it was just today, and you know, actually, the problem that I used to be having was when you open the app, if you were using Bluetooth earbuds, it would default back to the phone speakers, which was kind of annoying, and it wouldn't use the earbuds. Also, for about a week there, about a couple of weeks ago, for a whole week, the Amazon shopping app was not working properly with VoiceOver. They did fix it. It's working properly now. But I think that whoever's doing the programming for their apps obviously isn't keeping up with the VoiceOver requirements. And I'm just glad they don't have the same programmers for the Blue Origin flights.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like somebody needs to send some feedback to Amazon to fix your apps,
Yeah.
please.
Yes,
All right.
yes, I agree. Okay, well,
Yes,
thank you.
Suba.
All right. Suba will be the last comment, and then we'll move to another question. Go ahead, Suba.
Yep. I called Amazon and I left talked to their department who deals with the coding. So yeah, and already left that comment.
Okay.
Good.
Good. And another suggestion, maybe to call the accessibility line and give some comments. Maybe they can route some of that too. All right. Well, sorry you're having that issue, Jody. Hope they clear that up real soon, especially for, don't mess up the shopping app in time for the holidays. We don't want that. All right. Next question. Anybody have a new
This is Terry.
question? Hi, Terry. Go ahead.
Hi there. Not a question, but a comment. I think we have to keep telling these developers and whomever to get their app together.
Yeah. Now,
Get it?
Get your act and your apps together. Exactly.
That's right.
Good point, Terry. Yeah, unfortunately,
I'm being facetious, but I'm also serious because I'm noticing more and more issues too which is one of the reasons I haven't upgraded to iOS 15, because I keep hearing, they fix one thing and then something else breaks. And I know there are some issues with 14.8 too. And I mean, it shouldn't be happening.
Well,
do sighted people have these? I mean, I guess they have some of these problems without VoiceOver, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you think about it, in any software, and no matter what device you're using, if there's an update, especially if they add things, it changes the landscape, and that's usually what happens. And yeah, they're sighted people have maybe not the same issues we have, but they have frustrations too. So I think it happens to all of us, but for us, it's a lot more difficult because you change one little thing and VoiceOver doesn't use it or doesn't work with it, then it totally messes us up. So that's a good point though, Terry, is we should always be vigilant and give the feedback whenever something is not working. And hopefully the developers will listen if, especially if they're aware of VoiceOver and what it is. So good point. All right. Next question or comment. Someone that hasn't had a chance. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Linda, and then Ibrahim, and then Dee. Linda, go ahead.
Yes, I'm trying to enter a phone number to get into a Zoom call, and I have the telephone number, I have the meeting ID number, and I also have, I guess it's the password. So I went into notes and I typed in the phone number and I put like 4 commas after the phone number. Then I entered the meeting ID and put in 4 more commas, and then I put in the last number. And so when I went to, then I copied that and then I put it into my contacts under that Zoom call or whatever. And so I called it, and it called the number, and it says you were in Zoom, and it had the number. It says, and then it was asking for my meeting ID. So I think I've done something wrong there.
Okay. All right. So can anybody help Linda with entering the Zoom phone number? Making sure you have the right punctuations. It's kind of like in computer programming, you may have one little thing off and the whole thing doesn't work. So any suggestions? Sheree, go ahead.
Do you think those commas are way too long? Because that's 4 commas is almost 8 seconds.
Could very well be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You might, for those things, you might just only want to put 1 comma because they're waiting for you to enter the code right away.
Okay.
Good point.
And then in the meeting ID, they say, hit the pound button. Should I put that in my number as well, or just hit the pound number when they ask for it?
Sheree, do you have any suggestions on that?
I would put everything in there. I would just remove those commas because that's waiting a long time, and maybe it's timing out or something.
Okay, I'll try it with just 1 comma between each number.
Brad.
Go ahead, Brad.
I was going to say, I do it. I put the phone number followed by 2 commas, then a meeting ID followed by a pound sign. Then I put 3 commas because it talks a little longer before it wants you to enter the meeting, the passcode. And then most of the time, if you're calling in on a phone number, you do not have to enter the passcode. You can just hit a pound sign. But if you've got the passcode, better safe than sorry, you can enter it there. But yeah, 4 commas is excessive. I don't think you need to do that many, but I don't think 1's enough. I'd put at least 2.
Okay, very good. Sandhya, did you have something?
Brad said it.
Oh, okay, very good. All right, any other suggestions? Those are good ones. All right, is that helpful for you, Linda?
Very much, thank you.
All right, thank you for the question. Ibrahim, you are next. Go ahead.
Yeah, I seem to be having a text message problem for the last 2 weeks, I'm guessing. I'm using iOS 14.8, and I can send messages to everybody in my list pretty well. But for some reason, there's this one person in my family has an Android, and whenever I send messages to them with like articles or any kind of links in them, it starts the message, like it says message, text editing, attachment, and then it freezes and hangs up on me and won't let me send it at all.
That's interesting. All right, any suggestions of how Ibrahim might get around that?
This is Sheree.
Go ahead, Sheree.
And
Go ahead,
it's
Ibrahim.
just articles. I was gonna say it's just when I'm trying to send like articles to things, texting the person like separately is fine. Messaging.
So are they attachments?
They're like articles, like links and things like that.
Oh, like links. Okay. Sheree, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's going to be some limitations on how much, size that you can send to an Android through the SMS. So do you know if these are very, very small size stuff that you're sending?
They're pretty small because I send them to another Android person in my family, and he gets them perfectly fine. And it only started like a week ago with this person.
Anything to add to that, Sheree?
Nope.
Okay, very
Well,
good.
this is
Anybody?
Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
So if you're having a problem with attachments, the best thing you could do is, just use like a file sharing link, like from iCloud or Dropbox, put the file in there, and then it won't, they can just click on the link and download it that way.
Okay.
This is Dave.
They're not attachments, they're mostly links, like article links.
Yeah.
But thanks, Herbie.
Okay. David, go ahead.
Yeah. What I understood, you say this is like a group text message, correct? Like you have a group of people and you're sending this link to everybody in the group?
No, it's one person in my family that I send messages to all the time, but for some reason, when I send them any kind of article or link of that kind, it freezes and does not let me send that.
Oh, so you're not sending this to a group message type.
No, it's not a group message. It's an individual message.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Any other helpful hints here? Might get around this. Okay. Well, Ibrahim, it's kind of a puzzle for sure.
This is true.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead. Ibrahim, go ahead.
I want to ask, could it be something to do with my carrier? And if so, is there a way to check what carrier settings I have?
Okay, Shri, did you have a comment on that, or you want to?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Abraham, you might want to come into our Android Insider and ask that question, because they may be able to tell you from the other end what may have caused this also.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
Is there a good place in the settings where I can check my carrier settings? Just curious.
So
I
this
know
is
that. Go ahead, Herbie.
So let's just go back. Are you sending in a link or an attachment? I think I'm a little bit lost here.
The articles, but they're sent as links, basically.
Okay, so are you using like the share option then?
Yeah, share messages on like different news apps.
So you know what
like
I would
Smart
try
News or
doing?
Apple News. Yeah.
When you go to share, what I would do is go down to copy. Then I would Then I would actually go to the text message and just paste the link in there and hit send, and try that.
So copy and then paste it into.
Yes,
the
copy the
message?
link and then paste it. So you go down to share, and there's an option further down to copy the link to your clipboard.
Okay.
And then you go to the message, and then you'll use your rotor to go to edit, go down to paste, and then you will hit enter. I think what's happening is the share thing is a little bit funny because it's trying to treat it, even though it's a link, as an attachment, and that works for iMessage to iMessage, and I think that's why it's something to do with the sharing on the iPhone side. So that's why I would just copy the link and paste it and see if that should work.
I'll try that. Thanks.
All right. Good suggestions. And Ibrahim, I hope that helps you out. Thank you for your question. Miss D, you are next. It's your turn.
Okay. I have a question and a comment.
Okay.
Which would you like first, Stephen?
Oh, just take whatever you like.
Okay. The other day, I was at a friend's house and I wanted to connect to their Wi-Fi. And it was the first time I had connected with my new phone. So when I tapped on the Wi-Fi to go in and put in their password, it pops up and tells me, oh, if there's another iPhone user around you that's already connected to the Wi-Fi, hold your phone near it and it will connect automatically.
Mhm.
Well, I did that and nothing happened.
Okay.
We put the phones real close together, like face to face, and
Mhm.
I
Nothing,
didn't.
it didn't work.
No. Has anybody got any ideas?
Yeah.
It really surprised me. I didn't realize I could even do that, you know?
Yeah, that feature's been there for a while. I myself have not
Yeah.
tried to use it, but it has been there. So anybody have
This is
any?
David.
David, go ahead.
Well, for that feature to work, the person that's sharing the Wi-Fi with you has to have you in their contacts.
Yeah, I was in their contacts.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it even
And
plainly said that I'm in their contacts.
it
Brad.
Go ahead, David. Go ahead and
No,
finish.
sorry, I didn't thought David.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
What version of iPhone do you have?
What iPhone do I have? I have a 13 mini.
Oh, you have the 13. Okay, yeah, I should work on that. I know some of the older iPhones, I don't think it works on the share.
So that wasn't
Wi-Fi.
like airdropping or anything. It's not the same as airdrop, is it?
No, it's kind of similar technology, I think, but it's different. It's a different feature, but it uses that kind of the same Bluetooth like I don't know. I think.
And it didn't matter if the phones are facing each other or side by side or anything, does it?
They could be, fairly close. They don't have to touch though. I mean, as long as they're like in the same room or whatever, I think.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I've used that before with friends when I'm over their house, and I'll go into the Wi-Fi and then it'll, I think they'll get an alert on their phone and they have to like allow it. If it's like, if you're, before it will let you in, but.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't notice that on their phone.
Yeah, I think
'cause
they
it
have
was
to
kind
do
of-
something on their phone. I mean, because it's their Wi-Fi network. They don't want anybody just jumping on. So maybe the other person is not acknowledging it, possibly.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Okay.
hotspot.
Well,
You have to do
we
the
kind
same
of
thing.
held our phones up, kind of almost like face to face. So we just thought it was going to just happen magically, So
Okay.
they weren't even looking at the screen.
All right, Brad, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think, they say it's got to be in each other's contacts. And I think the issue there is you have to be in the other person's contacts exactly the way your own personal contact card is set up. For example, my contact card, my name is Bradford Snyder. And then it's got the rest of my information. But my wife has me in her contacts as Brad, husband. Not the same thing. So they don't even recognize each other.
Okay.
So I
that
think
could well be the case because I'm sure their thing is D and my contact is Delilah. So that could have been it right there.
David, go ahead.
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, Brad's right. But it has to be the same Apple ID that they're using. So most people use their email address as their Apple ID. And like I was over at a friend's house and I only had her text number and I only had her phone number in my contacts. I didn't ever emailed her before. So I was wondering, why is this not working? I'm supposed to share. So when I added her email in, which is also her Apple ID, it worked like a champ. So make sure that your contact for that person has the email address or whatever the Apple ID that they're using. So they'll match up. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Herbie, I think, did you have something to say as well?
Mine was actually guesswork. I wondered if the back camera had to face the screen of the other phone, but that was just guesswork on my part.
This is D, and I questioned that myself afterwards. I don't really know.
Yeah, it sounds like that, as you said, it has to be similar in your contacts, but also the other person has to allow, just like, like with a Wi-Fi hotspot or something. So that might be part of your problem as well, D.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy.
But when it does work, it is magical.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
absolutely.
just near the other person, and it's magical.
Yeah, this is D. I was a little disappointed because, I thought I was going to wow them a little bit,
Yeah. So what ended up
didn't
happening?
happen.
They just give you the password, or are you just waiting and gonna try again?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good question, D. We'll hopefully, the next
Okay,
time.
you ready for my comment?
Yes. Go ahead with your comment.
Okay. Last week, I was asking this question about my new iPhone, how the Messages app got all fouled up. If anybody recalls that. Well, I ended up getting a new phone. And before I left the store, we set it up and everything. And I checked that Messages app and VoiceOver read everything. And it had all the things down below it, like camera, iPay and all that kind of stuff. Everything was down there. After I'm home a couple of hours, I get my phone and I'm going to send a message to someone. And that stuff was all jumbled up again. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to tell them now? So I finally got on and called Apple Accessibility. And I had done this the week before with the first phone. And they were not able to give me a solution. But this guy, he said to me, after he kind of looked at it with screen share, he could see the things were there, but VoiceOver wasn't reading it. And finally he says, do you have a screen? Yeah, what they call that?
Screen recognition.
Right, screen recognition turned on. And I said, yes, I do. He said, let's turn that off and see what happens. Turned it off and everything went back to normal.
Ah,
So
the screen recognition is still a bit finicky in many cases. So that is a good point.
yeah, they told me to
This is
only
Herbie.
use that in apps that
never
is
mind.
not actually Apple apps themselves. If I'm having difficulty reading.
Yeah,
VoiceOver's
that will
not
happen.
doing it.
All right. Well,
This
so
is
it
Sandhya.
sounds like it cleared that up, Dee. So that's
It
good.
did, which
All
made
right.
me feel funny sending back a brand new phone that, I'm complaining about, and then it's working fine. But I just thought I'd give everybody that heads up in case that happens to you.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks so much. And with that, Miss Sandhya, we have approached the halftime point.
Yay. All right. Thank you, Stephen. Wow. Lots of information there in the
Yes.
first half. All right. Well, welcome everybody for the second half, the midpoint of our call. If you didn't get to say hello the first time around, please say your name and where you're from. Love to hear from you. Who's
It's
out there?
Kathy from
Hey,
Oklahoma. I almost said Texas.
Forgot where she's from. Yeah, Northern Texas. Welcome, Kathy.
In North
Nikki from
Texas.
San Francisco.
Hey, Nikki, welcome.
Thank you. Ibrahim from Boston, Massachusetts.
Hey, Ibrahim, welcome.
This is Terry.
Philadelphia.
Anissa, welcome. Terry Ann, welcome.
Yes, I'm trying my computer today, and so I hope I'm getting things. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah, we can hear you good. All right, keep
Okay.
going. Who else?
Priscilla from Arlington.
Hey, here's the queen. Hello, Miss Priscilla. Go ahead. Who's next?
How are you, dear? Thank you.
Good. Who else?
Linda from Southeast Texas.
Hey, Linda, welcome.
Paul San Antonio.
Hey, sir, welcome to you.
Hey, thanks.
Anybody else want to say hello?
This is Dan from Albany, New York.
Ah, lots of New Yorkers today. Welcome, sir. Is this the first time on our Monday night call for you? Or have you called?
It's the first time I've gotten my mic working.
Okay, well,
It must be the snow that we got that did it.
Oh, wow. Well, we're so happy that you're here and welcome to the call. We're glad
Thank
you're
you.
here. All right, who's next?
Michael in Texas.
Welcome, sir. Anybody else?
This is Deb from Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, 2 days in a row. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else want to say hi?
Looks like I missed something yesterday.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to say hi?
This is Chris from Houston adjacent.
Welcome to you, lady. All right. Anybody else? Okay. All these stragglers, we still love you anyway. Glad you're here. Okay, real quick, we got lots of stuff going on this week, so get ready, folks. So something every day for everyone, okay? So, was that right? Yes, that's right. Okay, here we go. Start for tomorrow. iBUG mini buzz on Clubhouse from 5 to 6, all times central. That's on the Clubhouse app. Then Wednesday, 2 events. We have the Mac Buzz on Clubhouse from 5 to 7. And then right after that, Android Insight on this same Zoom conference line. So check it out, all things relating to the A-Lady and all good stuff that runs on the Android platform. So come and answer and ask questions there. Then Thursday, another double header. Well, we're done with baseball season, but anyway. Stephen, can we still use a double header anyway? I don't know. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. That's the only thing I know. Okay. So then for Thursday, we have the It's iBUG's Life Talking Turkey, guys. Turkey and all the trimmings 1 week early. Well, yeah, 1 week early. So if you know anything about turkeys, or all I know is how to eat turkeys, but George is going to be showing us and talking about fixing turkeys and sides, and you can come and share your thoughts. So that'll be on Clubhouse. And then right after that, back to back, we'll be doing iBUG Trekkie Talk. We're going to be talking about the Discovery Season 3, Episodes 5 and 6. And then that's all for Thursday.
You could do
Then-
these double features since we're about to do the movie thing. That might be a good
that's
idea.
great
There you
one.
go.
Yes, there you go. Okay, good. Then we'll skip Friday. Then we have Saturday, iBUG Apple workshop from 2 to 4 on the Zoom conference line. Come talk about the latest Apple news, which we all love and crave, right? And then some cool demos by some cool folks that we haven't seen for a while. So we're really excited about that. And we wanted to also thank and acknowledge our awesome presentation yesterday at the iBUG Cafe. We talked about all things relating to the shopping. Sri did a demo of eBay, and then David did a demo of Amazon. And then Herbie did a demo of the Walmart app. So those are all good, more ways to spend your money on your friends and loved ones. So go check it out. It will be posted very soon.
I'm sorry I missed that one.
Okay, yeah. So let's not just make explanations out. Please say your name, wait to be recognized. Okay, so all right, now. Let's see. Tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be talking about iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies. And with those fabulous, fantabulous clues is the Mr. iBUG guy himself. Are you out there? Silence.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that musical interlude
That's what
there?
I was trying to think of last week. That's gonna be my new walk-up song.
That's your walk-up song? I can't even
Walk-up
understand.
music.
You're not on the Academy Awards, okay?
That's a baseball term if I ever heard one. Walk
Yeah,
up.
okay,
music.
no. Okay, we're here at this. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, remember the good old days?
Yes.
Specifically, do you have any aphorisms from the good old days?
Oh dear, aphorisms.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
About a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Got it.
This is Jim.
Jim's got one.
Yes, as Billy Joel said once a long time ago, the good old days weren't always that good. Tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems.
This is Stephen.
Keeping the faith. Okay.
Stephen's
This is
got
Stephen.
one.
Yeah, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Okay. How about this is one that I like. A penny saved is a penny earned. Anybody remember who said that?
Probably
Roosevelt?
Wise man.
Lincoln.
This is Dave.
David.
That's Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, Benji. And if someone would have saved a penny a day since Benji said that over all these years and compounded annually at a 5% interest, you would have now $44 million. So start saving those pennies. But
where did you get off calling him Benji? That's what I want to know.
Benji.
But okay, go ahead.
Benji, Kate, they're all old friends of mine.
I see you were back there, I'm sure. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was back there. Okay, let's get on to what we're all here for. My assistant has not pulled up my notes again. All right, here we go. All right. 4. And we have some 5 fabulous clues for our film this Friday. Did you say when the movie is?
No, why don't you do that?
Friday at 7:30 p.m. for the pre-movie social. The movie starts around 8, and stick around for fun discussion and trivia afterwards. So let's find out what that movie is by sharing or trying to guess some clues. Don't just shout out the title. Say your name, wait to be recognized by me. First clue. The film is billed as a murder thriller, one that even Alfred Hitchcock would have been proud to have made.
Crickets.
There's Paul.
Oh,
Paul.
The Shining.
The Shining. That's a great guess. We've already seen that one though.
Oh, oops. Thank you.
All
This is
right.
Sri.
Let's Sri.
Murder on the Train.
Murder on the Train is another good guess, but that's not it either. Let's move to clue 2. Maybe this will help you. Even though it's called a thriller, it is actually an electrifying and poignant love story.
Poignant?
About poignant. Wait,
Brad.
voiceover is poignant. It's about the choices we make in life and the choices that other people make for us. All right, Brad. I heard Brad.
Well, I had one, but I'm not so sure after that last clue. I was going to say Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. That's a great guess, Brad. Thanks for playing. All right. An electrifying and poignant love story. And it's about the choices we make in life and the
This is Sri.
choices that other people make for us. Go ahead, Sri.
Thomas Crown Affair.
Thomas Crown Affair. Oh my gosh, that's so close. Not really.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew that
you
was
go
coming.
on.
All right, we're moving on to clue 3. This will give it away. I know this will give it away.
I hope so.
It's about 2 independent, complicated people who begin to love each other because they have a shared danger.
Nikki,
Nikki,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh my gosh, that's another great movie. Good guess, Nikki.
This is David.
David.
He's
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde. Wow. He gets so many of these, but he didn't this week. Sorry,
Yeah,
David.
No cigar for you.
All right. All right. Any other guesses? Moving on to clue 4.
Oh, please.
This will probably give it away. It's also about a community that has proudly held onto the ways of their ancestors for more than 200 years.
This is Sri.
Sri.
Is it The Last Samurai?
The Last Samurai. Oh no. That's a good guess. But not the one. That was not even close. It was close. It was in the wrong continent. But
Yeah,
it was-
other than that, it was really close. God.
Anybody else?
Oh, poor Sri.
We're running out of time.
Hurry up. It's
I'm
almost
over.
9 o'clock.
I'm over my time limit. All right, the
Yeah.
last clue. If this doesn't give it away, then nothing will. The community is deeply suspicious of outsiders
This is
and
Marion.
stubbornly dedicated to their rural lifestyle.
This is Sri.
Marion.
I was first, yes, and I don't remember the name of it, but it had Harrison Ford, and it was about the Amish country and a little boy that saw a murder.
That's very close, but we need the title.
You just helped somebody else. Hold on, there were 3 other people.
Sri first, yeah.
Is it Witness?
Witness, witness. Yes. Uh-oh, we're going to have to share.
Sri and I share the title.
Marion and Sri have to share the prize this week. And what's our prize for our winners tonight, Johnny?
Oh, this is a first for iBUG. All right. Guess what? It's a horse and carriage in the iBUG colors. And just guess, you and your friend will be going at a roaring 5 to 8 miles per hour. Okay. And you know, there are different kinds of Amish horse and carriages. And since I had to look it up, you are going to learn about it now too. Okay. So there's an open wagon kind, and then there's the courting kind, courting. So those are for taking your sweetheart. It's a 2-seater horse and carriage. So there you go, red and white and black. So maybe one of you maybe y'all can trade off every other weekend or something. All right. Yes, Herbie, go ahead.
So does this horse and carriage, mean that to Marion and Shri, who are sharing the prize, are sharing an extreme danger here by any
No, I hope not. Nobody's going to be. You're not
Could be.
This is Stephen.
Yes, we're moving on. Okay.
Johnny, since we have 2 winners, let's add an extra horse in there.
Okay, an extra horse. Sure, a white horse and a black horse. Okay, go ahead, Jim. Quickly.
So
Jim.
since I hear the Amish drive up and down Route 150 all the time, and they have their battery powered lights on in their Amish buggies so they don't get hit at night, they got to have them too.
Okay, we'll throw in some batteries. Thank you, Jim.
And lights.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations, Marion and Shri, for another awesome gift. And good job, Mr. McCulloch. Would you like to say good night, Mr. McCulloch?
Oh, I don't have my song queued up. Good night,
No. You don't
Mr.
need a
McCulloch.
Okay, yeah, you can leave the song out. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. And now with that, we are going to quickly do our iBUG Bytes segment. It's a 5-minute or less, usually less, demo. And then right after that, we'll go back to all of our questions. So hold tight, because here we go. Hold on. All right, Mr. Stephen, are you there?
I hope so.
Yes, you are. Go
All
for
right.
it. Okay.
All right. I was going to ask, if they're sharing the prize, which one gets the horse and which one gets the carriage, but I guess that's moot point now.
Yeah, it's mute.
All right.
It's mute too. Okay.
It's
bye.
mute. Yep.
Oh, that was
they're
bad.
muted.
That was bad. That was
Very
bad.
good,
Okay.
very good.
Bye.
All right. So tonight we are going to demonstrate a couple of features in the clock app. One of them being the timer and the other, the stopwatch. Yeah, I came across the stopwatch a few years ago and have used it several times for some things that's been really good, but also the timer. So I just thought I'd give a quick demo of them. Now, I'll do the timer one first. And obviously, you can have Siri do these, I suppose, but we all know that, the S lady doesn't always do what she's supposed to do. So in the event of that, I'm going to show you how to do it the long way, or, the manual way, I guess. All right, so I am going to go into the clock app here. Let's see if we've got it here.
Clock, 8:48 p.m.
Okay, is that loud enough, Sandhya? Is that good?
Perfect.
All right, so let's double tap on the clock and go into it here.
Clock, 0 seconds.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to go down here where the tabs are at the bottom.
Tab bar, world clock, tab, 1 of 4.
All right.
Alarm, tab, 2 of 4.
Okay, there's alarm.
Selected, stopwatch, tab, 3 of 4.
Okay, I was in the stopwatch last, so if I flick to the right one more.
Timer, tab, 4 of 4.
Timer, that's the one we're going to do first. So let's do timer. All right, so I'm in the timer.
0 hours, pick item, adjustable, 1 of 24. Pick
All
item,
right, so
adjustable,
the
1 of
first thing,
24.
yeah.
No other. Night sky.
Okay, that's enough of the description there. I guess it's a night sky image. All right, so that's the first thing. It's going to show you the hours. Of course, it's a picker item. If I do a 1-finger flick to the right here.
0 minutes, pick item,
All right,
adjustable, 1 of
there's
60.
your minutes. And it's a 1 to 60, gives you that option.
15 seconds, pick item, adjustable, 16 of 60.
All right, so I flick to the right and it gives me in seconds. All right, let's do 10 seconds here. I'm going to swipe down with 1 finger until I get to that.
14 seconds, 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds, 11 of 60.
All right, so I'm at 10 seconds.
Cancel, dimmed
All right,
button.
there's the cancel button, which you can't really do because I haven't set it yet. If I flick to the right one more time.
Start button.
All right, so I'm going to double tap on start and let's see what happens.
Pause.
All right, it's got the pause that it's sitting on, but we're going to wait for 10 seconds and see if it goes off.
Now, clock, timer, start.
All right, it is going off. It's kind of a low signal. It wasn't that low before. So, all right, so I'm going to turn it off here.
Notification, clock, now, clock, timer.
All right, so I tapped on notification. I just kind of tapped on the icon, but in order to get rid of it, I'm going to flick down here.
More, dismiss.
Dismiss.
Do not disturb, image.
All right, there we go. So that dismissed it, and that's how you do the timer. Pretty simple. All right, so let's go do the stopwatch.
Tab bar, alarm, tab, stopwatch, tab, 3 of clock,
All right, so now I have double tapped on the stopwatch,
0 seconds,
and we're faced with the same choices here.
0 seconds.
Zero, so some of them anyway, they're seconds, and that's basically what you have. If I flick to the right,
lap, dimmed, button,
it says lap or LAP, and basically what that is once I start it, if I tap on lap, it will tell me how much time has elapsed, and each time I hit it, it tells me how much time has elapsed from the last time I hit LAP. So if I flip to the right again,
start, button,
all right, there's the start button.
page 1 of 2, digital
right.
stopwatch, adjustable.
So it gives me, I can either do the digital or the analog stopwatch. I'm going to leave it on digital. So I'm going to flick back to the left here.
Start, button, lap, dimmed, 0 seconds.
All right, so I'm going to go on to start here,
button,
and I'm just going to let it run for a little bit.
Stop.
And it is sitting on the stop button. I can stop it right now if I want, or I can flick to the left
lap, button,
and hit LAP.
lap, 9.7 seconds.
All right, so that means 9.7 seconds has elapsed. I can let it keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm going to flick to the right.
Stop, button,
And stop it.
start,
All right, so now it's back on start. If I want to start it again, I'm going to flick to the left a couple of times here.
reset, button,
There's reset.
22.92 seconds.
All right, so we had 22.92 seconds elapse from the time I hit start to the time I hit stop. So if I was timing something, or, you know, what I used to use it for a lot was when I was in radio and I had to do a 30 or 60 second commercial. It was very handy timing it to the second. So if I want to reset it,
Reset, button,
I just hit reset
lap, dimmed, 0 seconds.
and it's back to 0 seconds. So that's a couple of things in the clock feature. I think we've probably had demos of the alarm before, I believe, but I thought it would be cool to do the timer and the stopwatch, since at least for the timer, I think you can use that quite a bit, but the stopwatch is something that really comes in handy. So that is the iBUG Byte tonight, Sandhya.
Very cool. That's such a useful. I use it all the time to, like, when you're doing like a presentation and you want to know how long it was or whatever. Okay. Anybody have any questions for Stephen?
This is Sri.
Kathy?
Okay, Stephen.
ahead,
Sri and then
Sri.
Kathy. Yeah, go ahead.
So, Stephen, do you know with the timer, is there a way that when it does like the last 10 seconds, like let's say you do a timer for 20 minutes, at the last 10 seconds where it can kind of give you like a countdown so you know, or no?
You know, let me go back into it, because I think if you tap on where the how much time is left, I think it will do that. Let me go back in and let's try that. That's a good point. So I will go into timer.
Tab bar, timer, tab, 4 of 0 hours, pick 0 minutes, 10 seconds.
All
pick
right, so
item,
let's
adjustable,
let's
11 of 6,
do
11, 12, 13, 15
let's
seconds.
do 15
16,
seconds. So give me a little time here.
Cancel, start, button,
All right, so
pause.
I'm going to start it. Now I'm going to go back.
cancel, alarm, 0, 11, 0, alarm, 8:54 p.m. 0, 06,
Okay.
alarm, 0, clock.
No, it doesn't seem to do that, because I've tried to
Okay.
do that and it doesn't tell you how much time has elapsed. So unless somebody has another way of figuring that out, I don't see that.
Notification, more.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
I'm wondering if it has to be at 1 minute or more before it actually lets you know when you get to 10 seconds. Because it seems to me, like if I've gone to 5 minutes and then it gets to 1 minute, it tells you 1 minute to go, and then 50 seconds and 40 seconds.
That is a good point. I think, because I know I've used the timer before, you know, certainly longer than 15 seconds. Like I did a 20-minute before I got my smart speakers, I used it quite a bit to time food. And I think that, yeah, I think it does have to be over a certain length. That's a good point, Terry, because when you click on where the time is, it will tell you. Now, whether it counts down there. Okay. Jerry, you need to mute yourself, please.
Okay, muted everybody. Go ahead, Herbie.
Yeah, so I've never known it to give an actual 10-second warning like what Shri is asking about, because I've used the timer a lot. You have to look at the time. You kind of... you might be able to ask Siri. I think you can ask Siri like how much time is left, but otherwise, yeah, you have to be looking at the clock itself, the timer itself, to see how much time you have left.
Yeah, you have to flick to that, in other words. Right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions?
I think we had Kathy. Go ahead.
Kathy, yes, that's right. Go ahead, Kathy.
You have to unmute, please.
Can you unmute, Kathy?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There
It
you
always
go.
takes me a minute to
That's
find
okay.
it.
Go ahead.
Where do you find the sound for the timer? I don't know what sound I have, but I wanted to time it in meditation, and it had some horrible alarm that just jolted me. And I once had the duck, which I can't find the duck anymore. I don't know if. So I guess it's two questions. How to set the alarm how to set the sound for the timer.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. I probably should have gone over that. Okay, so let me, I'm
Cancel. Dimmed.
all right. So
button.
I'm in the cancel button. I don't have anything up, so I'm going to flick to the right here.
Start button.
Start.
When timer ends. Constellation button.
Okay, that's where you would go in. It says
Oh.
where timer ends. Now I have it set to constellation. That's the sound that you heard. So I'm going to
Right.
double tap on that, and it's going to take me to the sounds, where all the sounds are. So
When timer.
all right,
Clock.
so
Cancel button.
all right, I'm in there. So I'm going to flick a little bit here.
When timer ends. Heading. Set button.
See, there's the set button at the very top left there.
Store. Heading.
All right, there's the store where you can download ringtones.
Tone store. Download all. This will download all. Radar. Default.
All right, so now it's giving you the list of sounds. There's radar,
Apex.
apex,
Beacon.
beacon,
Bulletin.
bulletin,
By the seaside.
by the seaside. So
Chimes.
that's where you would, and now I think the duck is one of those that might be in the classic view. It might be a little ways down. So, but that's where you would
Okay.
find it, Kathy, is where it says when timer ends, and it will probably have it set to whatever the default is. But once you double tap on that, it will bring up the whole list of sounds. And once you double tap on a sound like,
By the seaside.
all right, I'm going to double tap on by the seaside just for grins.
By seaside.
All right, it's going to play it for me.
Chime. Selected. By the
But it's
seaside.
selected. So if I go out of the timer here, then it will show up as the sound that you want.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions?
Ibrahim.
Go ahead, Abraham.
I had a question from earlier. I'm just wondering. I was looking through my settings yesterday. I'm wondering.
Hang on.
Okay,
Ibrahim,
well,
you're coming.
Yeah, you're cutting out quite a bit. And if this is is this different from the timer? Because we're not quite done yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions about the timer or the stopwatch? Okay, Sandhya, it's all yours.
Right. That was quite a timely program you gave us. So thank you.
Yes, you're trying.
welcome. Yeah, okay. All right, very good. Okay, so now go ahead, Ibrahim. I guess we didn't have any carryovers from the first half. So go ahead,
No.
Ibrahim, your question. And just remember, we cannot hear you very well. So you may need to call back in, or I don't know.
How about now? Can you hear me better now?
It's not great.
Yeah, slightly. Well,
Yeah.
we can give it a try, I guess.
Okay, go ahead, try.
How about now?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just wondering if there's a setting somewhere in the phone where you can see where, like, how to update your phone carrier settings, T-Mobile settings, or anything like that.
Yeah, is this the continuation of your earlier question? Or I don't know about anybody. Okay,
No, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. That's all.
your carrier settings. Okay, anybody
Yeah.
have any help for Ibrahim about carrier settings?
This is
Brad.
Jim.
Okay, Jim.
So I'll defer to Brad, but if you go into settings and then go to phone, just click down to phone. You should see it there.
Okay, thank you. Short and sweet. Go ahead, Brad.
Actually, I think it may be under cellular, but it may be the same thing as Jim's talking about.
Okay, very
not
good.
sure if they're the
Yep,
same.
that's right. It is. Yeah, it is under cellular.
All right, very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, good luck, Ibrahim. Okay, who's next? Somebody new that has not had a turn? Somebody new that hasn't had a turn. This
Nikki?
time. Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, the other day I put the Alexa app on my phone, and last night I was calling somebody to give her some information about a book club, and I mentioned mystery, and I mentioned Harlan Coben, who is an author of a book that they're reading. 90 minutes later exactly, I got an email from Amazon saying, giving me a list of 20 books that Harlan Coben had written. And I'm just wondering, was Alexa listening to me? Because this has never happened to me before in my whole life. And I've been using iPhone for a long time. And that really shook me up. So
This is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
So my first question is, do you have any other Echo devices in your house?
no. Well, on the TV, but only if the TV is on.
And was the TV on?
No.
All right. And so you were talking about it in a book club, and then 90 minutes later, you got an email from Amazon about mysteries.
No, I was actually leaving a message on somebody's machine about the title of the book for the Mystery Book Club, which was by Harlan Coben.
So was there with the book club, so you were reading a message? So was that in the Amazon app or anything like that?
No, I just called her and I got her voicemail and I just left a message for her.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
I have actually heard of that very same thing happening to a number of people, even using their iPhones. They've left a message somewhere on their iPhone, or left a voicemail message on their landline, and somehow mysteriously they get the same thing sort of happens to them, and there's no explanation, there's no rhyme or reason for it.
That is very scary.
This is
Okay,
Herbie.
Yeah,
Nikki.
it is.
All right, quickly, Herbie, go ahead.
I was going to actually mention something really odd about that. So I had that happen to me once while reading a Bard book. I was, reading a Bard book on my phone, and then I go to Facebook, and one of the ads that pop up was very related to the book I was reading. And so I think I personally, I wonder if there's forces beyond our control at work, and I'll just
This
leave
is
it at that,
Steven.
so.
All right. Thank you, Herbie. Steven.
Yeah, I have the same thing happen quite a bit. If I'm using something in my iPhone, like I do a search or something, and then I go into Facebook, almost immediately I see an ad for whatever it was I was searching for. That happens quite a bit for me.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
So this is Nikki again.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I have had this happen when I'm checking things out. If I'm looking at something online, I will very often get an email from Amazon. But what really bothers me is I already get 200 or 300 or 400 emails every day. I don't need more advertising because they're listening to what I'm doing. And I think that they need to stop. And if anybody has any ideas as to what to do about it, I'd really like to know. Or maybe we should become advocates and work on it together.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. Okay, moving on. Next question. New question. Somebody who has not had a turn, please. Somebody? Anybody?
This is Terry.
Okay, go ahead, Terry.
Last week I was asking about how to put phone numbers in your favorites on your phone, and or contacts in your favorites. And somebody suggested that if you go to the end of whatever the list of things, and that you would see favorites. That, as far as I can tell, that favorites is one of the 5 tabs at the bottom, having nothing to do with adding an item to your favorites list. That just shows up because you've ended that other list, and now you're back to your 5 tabs.
Okay, so I think what that was about was saying that if it was from recent, right? It was a
Oh,
recent
yes.
call. That was what you were talking about.
And I wanted to put it in my favorites, but I
Yeah.
don't know how to do it yet because that favorites doesn't allow you to do that. That's one of the 5 tabs.
Right. Okay.
Jim.
Jim.
Yes, that in order to add a contact to your favorites list, and notice I said add a contact to your favorites list, it has to be a contact already. It can't be a phone number that you've gotten a call from. You have to make that phone number a contact. Okay.
All right. Yes. So there you go, Terrian. You got to make them a contact according to Jim. And that sounds right. And I think that's kind of what we thought last week. Okay.
Right.
So,
Then somebody came back.
right. I remember. Yeah. So we'll have to.
I wanted to just to clarify that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Okay. Well, there we go. Thank you. All right. Who's next? Somebody new hasn't had a turn. Wants to ask a question.
This is
Anybody?
Sri.
Go ahead, Tree.
So I was wondering if anyone has experienced when they're doing dictation, when they double tap on dictation, VoiceOver says something. Like besides the ding ding, it's actually saying something, and it's not getting recorded into the text field of the dictation, but it says things. And I was wondering if people are hearing that.
Okay. Anybody have any?
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
I was in iOS 14.8, but I'm not when I first updated to that, but I'm not now, but I definitely was. And today, although while I was dictating it, before I even ended the dictation, it said the last letter of the thing that I was dictating when it was about to stop, but which it doesn't usually do. But it was saying weird things before, but now it's not doing that.
Okay, so Sri, they're not in your head. Siri really is saying something. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Sri's not crazy. Okay. Thank you, Terry Ann. Anybody else shedding any light on that, or we're ready to move on to our next question? Who's next? Somebody new.
This is Chris.
Chris, go ahead.
Has anybody noticed that when you go into notes and you're creating a notes file, that I've noticed for a while now, if I spell a word correctly and I put a comma after it or a period, any kind of punctuation, it'll automatically just say misspelled.
Oh. Okay. Anybody notice that?
This is Herbie.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So is this in like the main note area, or is this like where you would title the file?
Any place.
Because I can see where it might get confused with the title, because I think titles like that aren't meant to have punctuation. But I have to go try that now. I'm curious.
Paul.
Paul, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, what she's speaking, what she's talking about, I've had it done like all the time. If I'm trying to fill out a form or on the internet or something, what she's talking about, it's all misspelled words. Like I'm trying to type in something that's not, I guess, in the dictionary. So yeah, I get that all the time. That's all.
Okay, with punctuation, I think the question is whether it's because there's a punctuation mark, and then she knows she spelled it right. So, yeah.
Well, I spelled it correct, and it still said misspelled words, and it just depends where you're at on the form or the website.
Oh, okay. Okay, Shri. Thank you, Paul. Shri.
Chris, do you know if there's in that note, did you have a mention of some name?
This is Chris.
Yep. Go ahead.
No, it's any word.
So it's not a particular proper noun or anything like that. It's just any word that has punctuation. Okay. Shri,
This is
follow
Shri.
up? Yeah, go ahead.
Did you check your punctuation to see what your setting is set to?
It's always set to some, but it's not a problem with the punctuation per se. It's just, any word, it'll just say that it's misspelled if I put a comma or a period or an exclamation point or whatever.
This is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
So I'm not experiencing this. I just tried it, but I think I have all of my autocorrect stuff off. So if you, depending on how much you rely on your autocorrect, you might want to turn all that off and see if you still get that or not. I
This is
also
Chris.
put that I tried looking at the misspelled words and it didn't seem to show up there either. But then again, there was only
Hang
one
on,
word.
Chris has got to follow up. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't have any of that turned on, Herbie. I don't have any autocorrect or predictive text, none of that. That's all off.
Okay.
This is Stephen.
Go ahead, Stephen.
So this doesn't happen like when you space and it says the word and misspelled. It only happens after a punctuation?
The word's spelled correctly, and if I spell the word correctly, like, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and I spell it correctly.
Wow, you're really good if you can do that.
I put a space, it will say nothing. But if I just back up and put a comma, then a space, it'll say misspelled word.
Odd. Yeah, that is odd. I've not
This
I've
is
not
Shri.
seen that.
Okay, Shri. then we're moving
I
on.
suspect this is probably a bug because
Yeah.
there's been other issues with the punctuation that's creating issues with iOS 15.1. So I'm wondering if this thing falls into that category because there's definitely some, and you're using a
Chris.
comma, right?
This is Herbie. Oh, sorry.
I'll just say one last thing and we can move on from this. I'm at iOS 14.6, I think. I can't be at 15 for some other reasons. So I'm still on iOS 14
Wow,
something or
okay.
other. But that's okay. If nobody else is experiencing this, I was just curious.
Actually,
Okay.
this is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie, and then we're moving.
You
Go.
know, the key word you mentioned there, going back, and then you get misspelled. I actually think I have encountered that, not necessarily in the Notes app per se. So, and I don't remember if I've encountered it recently or back with 14, but I have encountered that phenomenon if I erase something like a space and then I go back. So I wonder if it's uncertain. And so maybe is it asking, hey, did you actually misspell this word or whatever?
This is Chris.
Chris.
Yep.
No, yeah. Even if I don't back up, if I spell it correctly, comma, space, it'll say misspelled word.
Okay.
Okay, pretty weird. Thanks for the question, Chris.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, we'll be on the lookout for that one. Okay, who's next? Somebody new. Hasn't had a turn. Anybody? Anybody feeling brave?
This is Stephen. I have one unless somebody else has
Go
one.
ahead, sir.
So I have a follow-up to Susan's question way back at the beginning of the call when she was
What?
talking
When was
about
that?
yeah, that was ages, that was years ago. So she's talking about, when you type in a number and it gives the letter. I'm just curious if there's a setting where you can go where if you don't want it to do that.
Okay. Anybody? Talking about the number pad where it reads
Right.
letters. Yeah.
What if I don't want it to read the letters? Just tell me the number and let's move forward.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any solutions for Steven? How to turn off the letters? I
This is
personally.
Herbie.
Yeah. Go ahead, Herbie.
Your best way. So, what method of typing do you use?
Just the touch typing.
So you use the touch typing, not the standard typing, correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it's the standard typing.
So
where you
it's the
double
one
tap
where
on
you
each
flick
one.
to the where you flick and then you double tap on the
Right.
number.
Right.
Okay, so I find that if you may want to experiment with the touch typing method where you slide your finger across the screen till you get to what you want and lift up, because I think you'll find the letters are a lot less noticeable because you'll slide to the number 2 and as soon as you hit 2 you can just immediately lift up. And at least because I find when I'm helping people and they're typing the way you are, it tends to slow because it's a lot slower. You have more time to
Right.
hear those letters, and so if you do the touch typing, then you actually can move quicker and not have time to hear the DEF or ABC or whatever it is. So that's my suggestion.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I've thought about trying the touch typing, just never have, but that might be a good incentive.
Yes, I agree with her. This is Sunday. I agree with Herbie. I don't ever even hear the letters. So now that I think about it, I use touch typing. So, all right. So there you go. Good
Cool.
luck.
Thanks.
Good luck. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Who's next? Somebody new hasn't had a turn. They'd love to hear from you. This is for you.
This is Deb.
Hey, lady, go ahead.
I know this is probably a really
No, don't
silly.
say it. Don't say silly, dumb.
Okay.
There are. Go ahead.
What is a good use or the purpose of that horizontal scroll bar that you get sometimes?
A horizontal or vertical?
Oh, maybe it's the vertical. The vertical.
All right. All right.
The
Who would
thing
like
that's
to
over
help?
on the right
Yes,
side.
exactly.
This is Herbie.
Okay, hang on. Let's see if anybody else wants to help out with this question. Anybody want to talk about the vertical scroll bar? Anybody?
This is Dee.
Go ahead, Dee.
Okay, that vertical scroll bar is there because usually there's multiple pages at the time, and that lets you put your finger over there and kind of double tap and slide down or flick down, and it will announce like 10, 20, 40, 80, get you right down, the list closer to where you want to get without having to sit and flick, flick, flick.
Yes.
So when it gets to 100, it's showing everything. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
when you get to 100, you're down to the bottom page.
Okay.
Your other way,
right.
you would be doing a 3-finger flick from the bottom up to go down each page, and that takes a lot more time.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it's just a quick way to navigate.
Right, exactly. It's a scroll bar. So basically it's telling you the percentage that you have gone, it knows what the whole thing is. And so it is gauging and telling you how far your progress down the page, down the side.
This is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
I just want to say that is far from a silly question. In fact, the scroll bar is a relatively new thing for iOS. We've only had it for 2 or 3 iOS updates, so it's actually a relatively new thing, not something I've even taken full advantage of. So, just a bit of encouragement. That was by far not a silly question. So.
Yeah, great question. Takes courage to ask questions. All right, very good.
This
Thank
is
you, Deb.
Terry.
Go ahead, Terry.
You can also somewhere in there find out what page you're on in a particular app or basically I would say an app, because that will tell you, give you another clue as to where you are in the app. And especially if you've got a lot of information in that app, sometimes just knowing what page you're on can be helpful as well.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, who is next? Somebody new that hasn't had a turn.
SANDHYA, this is Paul.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So if I can, stop me if I can, but so I want to share a tip. It's a shortcut tip.
Yeah, go ahead,
On the
please.
iPhone, I think it's pretty cool. So I'll make it short. So sometimes we go to karaoke on the weekend. They have this place down the street. It's like a bar. If you guys have karaoke, so I have you got to have Apple Music, I guess I should say that first. So there's a place where you can do a shortcut. And for example, I've been going to karaoke 2 weeks ago, and I take my Aftershocks headphones, and if you're in the club or whatever, you can speak to your phone and tell it something like, find lyrics for Jingle Bell Rock. So just imagine this with the headphones on, and you get the mic. You know how people read the screen. If you guys
Right. Okay.
So if you guys are reading the screen of karaoke, if you remember that, the big screen. So what I've been doing is, and this is new to me, you guys might know this already. So I'll go in and put my headphones on the Aftershocks and go up there, and I know the DJ guy because we play music there anyway. So here was that shortcut. And
Bobby Helms, written by Jingle Bell, Jingle Bells Swing and Jingle Bells Ring.
so there's all the lyrics. I'm just swiping with my thumb. So while I'm on the so when I'm on karaoke, I'll just swipe down and I'm saying, it's finally I can read the lyrics like the other people. So just
wow.
Yeah.
That is, well, we at iBUG have really dreamed about doing a karaoke party for a long time. So maybe now it can happen. So very cool, Paul. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. Who's next? Somebody new? Want to share something quickly? Any questions? Love to hear.
This is
from
Herbie.
you. Yes, go ahead.
You know, Paul's thing just reminded me of one of the new features. I'm curious if anybody that might even be worth demoing at some point. The and you talking about the karaoke party too. The new Apple Share in FaceTime, the audio share where you can share audio like Apple Music and various apps. So I'm just curious if anybody's played with that. Since they've introduced it in the one of the later iOS 15 updates.
This is Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
All right, Herbie, we can do that next week.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Let me know if you need any assistance with being
all right.
Probably
okay.
will.
Moving on.
Like
all right. Who's next? Somebody new with a new question? Anybody have a thought? Okay. Well, I will have a thought then. Nobody else has a question. So I've been I've been sharing different, I don't know, different apps. I was sharing, I forgot what it was, even like a picture or something, a file. And I've been noticing that it's, it gives you the suggestions, but it used to say like, well, Herbie and Steven or whatever. But now it says, person. So is it that screen recognition thing that I need to get rid of?
This is Herbie.
Yes, go ahead.
No, what's happening is Facebook has decided that, and other places are doing this too, that it's now a violation of privacy to identify people in photos. So therefore, the feature is going to be taken away, and it'll just say person.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me clarify something. This is SANDHYA. So this is when I'm ready to, this is like the share sheet. I'm ready to share something, not a picture necessarily. I'm, instead of saying people's names as possible people to send to, it's saying person.
Have you updated to the latest iOS?
Pretty sure I am, but I will go back and check. Okay.
Because that's been a bug with iOS 15 that's kind of off and on. The only way I've been able to work around it when I encounter it is you can try like just force touching the screen in certain spots and see if that kind of brings it back to the way it should be. Otherwise, try closing it out and bringing back up the share sheet. But that is a bug I thought had been fixed with iOS, but the fact that you're still encountering it is not.
Okay, hang on. Okay, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I did experience what you were talking about, and I don't think I've had it in a while, so maybe the update did fix it. But another little tip that's in the iOS 15, now, like if you're on a photo, or I know it works also on Safari pages, if you want to share it with somebody, you just tell Siri, share this with, and then say their name, and it will usually text them if that's your main sort of contact with them, At least that's the way it works for me. Most people I'm texting. So instead of having to go to that share and go to messages and find,
Right.
it can be very tedious. So you can just say, share this with SANDHYA or whatever, and it'll probably use the text contact as the primary one.
Very cool.
Or I guess you say share this
tip, David? Pro tip?
You might be able to say share this via email, and maybe I haven't really tried all the variations of verbiage, but yeah, that's my pro tip for this Monday.
This is
awesome. Go ahead, Sri.
Did you, and I can't quite remember where it is in settings, but you can turn it off and on where in the share that it takes the people off and brings them back in. Did you try doing that and seeing that refreshes it so that it's not saying people?
No, I haven't tried anything. I just was like frustrated. And
Yeah, there's, I can't quite remember, but it's somewhere in settings where you can take that share people names off.
Yes. Take out the suggestions, right? Yes.
Yeah, and then bring it back in.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Somebody new with a new question, or somebody old with a new question. Either way.
This is Sri.
Go ahead, Sri.
I would like to. Paul lives in San Antonio, right?
Yes.
I would like to see if Paul one day, if he ever goes to the bus stop, to see if the Navi lens works over there.
Yeah, we'll have to. check it out. We'll have to get some feedback on that. Yeah, very cool. All right. Anybody else want to have a question? Got a few minutes left. Lots of questions out there.
It's on this Paul again.
Okay, Paul, go ahead, and then Jody.
So real quick, if I ever want to meet any of these people in this chat room, is there a way to do that? Can I email you?
If we'll figure that out, Paul.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll have to get the contact info, but yes, with their permission. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's a great idea. Jody, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify when someone who had asked about adding contacts to favorites, and you don't do it from favorites, but you actually go into the person's contact information, and then you hit edit, and then at the bottom, one of the choices is add to favorites. I wasn't sure if that
right. So
clarified or not.
This is Sandy. I think the issue what she was having is this person was just a phone number. It was a recent call, and she wanted to put him into favorite. And Jim brought up, that we'd have to create the contact first.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you. Yes, favorites are very important for sure. All right, who's next? Anybody? A new comment, question? Anybody is welcome. Anybody? No, there's got to be some weird stuff going on.
This is Herbie.
Okay, go ahead, Herbie.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly mention that, one of our iToy segments that we did actually helped inspire our Christmas list. So Shri, a couple months, did a demo on the wireless battery charger pack for your iPhone. And so as a result, Chanel actually was interested in that, so we've added that to a Christmas list. So even though I run the segment, it was Shri's demonstration, so I thought I'd mention that. So that's pretty cool. And then one little interesting thing, though, and I'm curious if anybody's tried. I was trying to find the 20-watt charger for the iPhone the other day. The newer 21, but I'm not. I was trying to search on Apple, and I wasn't coming up with any results. So does it have like a specific name, or is I just having bad luck that day? If anybody knows the answer to that.
Brad, go ahead.
Search for 20-watt adapter.
20-watt adapter. Okay, perfect.
All right. Go ahead, Tree.
I was going to say, you can also check out for the Anchor. It does a 20-watt adapter too, which is much smaller than the Apple.
Oh, that's good to know.
All right. Very good. Anybody else? The new question or any new comment? Getting down to the wire.
This is Dee.
Go ahead, Dee.
Okay, these 20-watt adapters these guys just now talked about, are they USB-C?
This is Shri.
Brad.
Tree.
Yes.
Okay, another question. Dee.
Go ahead.
Okay, will the USB-C make the things charge much faster?
This is Shri.
This is Brad.
Brad, go ahead, Brad. Brad, go ahead.
Yeah. You got your new iPhone 13 mini, and yes, not all iPhones I think will work with the new one, but the new iPhones, the 12 and the 13s, and it most definitely will make it charge a lot faster. It came with the USB-C to Lightning cable, didn't it?
It did, and I had to scrounge around to find a cable that would work because I didn't.
Yeah, well, you want to use the one that came with the phone and get you that 20-watt adapter from Apple, and it will charge faster. There's probably some other ones. Maybe the Anchor one's pretty good. But yeah, I've got one. It definitely makes my iPhone 12 Pro charge really fast.
This is Jim.
Okay, Jim?
Yes, quick question. If I plug my 10R into something like that, will it damage the phone or the battery?
Anybody?
This is Brad.
Brad.
I don't think it'll damage the phone because Apple's stuff is pretty smart, and it will it'll probably take it, but I don't believe it will charge it faster because that phone's not new enough to utilize the what that charger has to offer.
All
Bye.
right. With that, thank you, Brad, and thank you, Stephen. That brings us to the end of our call for tonight. Thank you for
Hey.
helping me, Stephen.
Absolutely.
And all the great questions and answers. We couldn't do this without you, so we truly appreciate everybody's help. And just remember, tomorrow is Clubhouse, a mini buzz on Clubhouse. Then Wednesday, we have Mac Buzz on Clubhouse, and then Android Insight in the evening right after that. And then on Thursday, Talking Turkey in the Clubhouse app, and then right after that, Trekkie Talk on Zoom, and then iBUG Night at the Virtual Movies. We're going to be watching Witness, and then Saturday's the iBUG Apple Workshop. So there's a rundown of what we're going to be doing this week. We hope you'll join us for any and all of those events, and have a great week. And we will see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.